Hey, everybody. I am so excited to welcome my dear friend, Traci Fogle. She is not only in top leadership in this company, you've seen her on convention stage. You've seen her, do those corporate calls. I believe she spoke at Leaders Retreat, but I wasn't there, but I heard wonderful things. So without further ado, she's here to talk about leaders, I think. So let's
I'm
get
here to talk
going.
about it. I'm
Yeah.
actually really glad that I'm in good company. I put on mascara for this call, so you are blessed, people. No, I'm really excited to be here. Like Sadie said, my name's Traci. Just a little backstory because I think it's good to know where people came from, right? Because we all come into this in different seasons of life, different talents, different skills. And so kind of my history. I've been with Plexus 7.5 years. I joined in February of 2017. I had an 18-month-old. I had been a graphic designer for an ad agency for the prior decade to that. I graduated from a college in West Texas with a degree in graphic design. And so that's just kind of where I was. And when I found Plexus, I was in a health crisis. 18 months postpartum, I had been just my milk supply dried up with mastitis, and I was thrown into waning depression. Gained 20 pounds in 4 months and came into this journey at like the lowest low. I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror. Like it was like my child had sucked the life out of me and I did not know who I was anymore. And so some things that happened in the beginning, I was very anti-network marketing. I had friends do this, but I would also say I was network marketing curious. Like I saw friends being very successful in this. Hey, Jody. And I saw friends being really successful, but what I knew is that I couldn't keep doing what I was doing as a graphic designer because it was really just becoming just fictitious with being a mom and with my morals and just a lot of different things. And so we started praying. We started praying for something to come in that would provide for us because me being a full-time stay-at-home mom wasn't an option. We live in the Dallas area. It's very expensive here. And so I knew I had to work. I had to bring in income. And as it would happen, I joined Plexus, put the products on a credit card because we didn't have the money for that. Planned on selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace to cover the cost. And about 2 weeks after I joined, I saw my sponsor, like in that time period, she achieved Ruby. And back then, Ruby income was about $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And y'all, that's all I needed to make. That was all I needed to make to stay home. And we could like Dave Ramsey that. If I was bringing in like 2,500 to 3,000, like we could envelope system that to make it work, right? And so I asked her, hey, do you think you could help me do this? The products were working. And so I started sharing just 2 weeks into my journey with Plexus, hit the ground running. Okay. And this is what really heads into, we're going to talk about Leaders Retreat. We're going to talk about how to get on the boat, how to show up, what you need to do over the next 4 months to do that. But what I want you to hear in hearing my story is there are people that you're going to help over the next 4 months who haven't even joined you yet. While my sponsor didn't see me coming from a mile away, I had ghosted her for 6 months. I messaged her at 4 a.m. after a bout of insomnia, sent her all my info, social security number included back then, and said, sign me up. She didn't know I was going to start running, like not walking, sprinting in the business just 2 weeks in. She didn't know, right? And so what we're going to talk about kind of is your posture and the things that you can control. Okay? There's a whole lot in this business that you can't control. You can't control people ignoring you. You can't control people quitting the products. You can't control the person who you thought was going to be your next runner just falls off the face of the earth or has a tragedy in their family or, whatever it is, right? You can't control all of those things, but you can control you. So there's really kind of, I like a good list. Okay. Do y'all like lists? When I was really thinking about this, I was thinking about 5 things that you can control. Okay. You can control your desire. Do you want to earn leaders retreat? Because y'all, I've talked to people on my team who the honest conversation is they don't really care. They don't really care. Maybe their husband couldn't come, or maybe their whole family couldn't come, or maybe they have a baby, or maybe they're pregnant and they can't even board the ship, right? And so I've had this conversation with people who are like, I just basically, I don't really care. Okay. If you don't care, you can control that, right? Now, maybe there's outside circumstances you can't control, but you can control your desire. Okay. And then we're going to talk about mindset. Your mindset you can control. Your consistency you can control. Your energy, and then your plan. Okay. So what we're not going to focus on is all the things you can't control. But when I look at it through that lens, y'all, I have all these things coming at me. Do y'all have things coming at you during the day? They're like, oh my gosh. Sometimes you feel like you're being chased, right? Sometimes I am being chased by my children. But there's things coming at you. Maybe it's a message or a nasty response, or, you know, just a teammate not responding, or a no, or different things. And I try to put them in the buckets of this I can't control. I can't control. I could ask for help. Maybe I need to message corporate or message my upline, right? Like I can ask for help, but I can't control it. This I can control. Okay. So I like interaction. So I'm going to ask you to type in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want to be at Leaders Retreat? Like, how badly do you want to be there? Okay. See, this is good. It should be a 10. Maybe on a bad day, it should be a 9. Okay. But a 9 or a 10 is where it should be. I'm sweeping the contest. Yes, Sadie, I'm sweeping the contest too. Because did you know when you sweep the contest, they pay for your flights? Hey-yo.
That's a convincing one.
Dollar
I didn't mean
bills.
to interrupt, but did not know it. Thank you.
Yeah. And they pay for 2 nights in a hotel prior, right?
And the shopping spree.
And the shop, like we're not even to the shopping spree yet. That's just like the extra, right?
These people here that want to go, I'm just letting you know, when you walk in there, champagne fountains and all kinds of food and stuff. I feel like I should be in Hollywood.
They had like chicken and waffles at the shopping spree I went to. And my husband was in heaven. He was like, coffee, chicken and waffles. This is incredible. Where's the shoes? Like, let's go. You've got to want to do it. You've got to want to do it. I've worked with people who haven't wanted to do it, and guess what? They didn't. Nobody is going to accidentally cross that plank and get on the boat. It's like a bridge, like a zigzagging bridge. But like nobody's going to accidentally do that. Like the only people who are a shoo-in are 4-star diamonds and above. 4-star diamonds and above get an auto invitation to Leaders Retreat, okay? None of us are 4-star diamonds. It's not going to just happen for us. I'm an emerald leader, and y'all, 2 of my teammates have more credits than I have right now. Like this contest makes things a really even playing field for all of us. I'm not going to accidentally get there. Sadie's not going to accidentally get there. And we're definitely not going to sweep it, okay? Accidentally. So you have to want it. So check your desire. Do you really want to do this? If you have teammates working for this, check their desire. That's kind of the first thing. Either you want this or you don't. And then we get to move into mindset, y'all. Do you believe you can do it? Do you want to do it? Do you believe you can do it? Because want to and belief are 2 different things. There have been many times I've had my eye on a prize, maybe sweeping the contest, and I didn't actually believe I could do it. And I didn't. And then I proved myself right. And there's also been times when I've had my eye on a prize and I've believed I could do it, and I did. But very rarely do belief, like your reality isn't going to surpass your belief. If you don't believe you can sweep it, you're not going to accidentally sweep it. Now, if you believe you can sweep it, and you work really hard and you show up with that, you may not sweep the contest every single time, okay? There's a whole lot we can't control. We already talked about that. But you're going to do darn well better than if you didn't believe you could do it. And you self-sabotaged. And you didn't ask for the bold post. And you didn't ask the person if they wanted to come with you. And you didn't, right? Because you didn't believe it. So what are the things that we can do to increase belief? Y'all, affirmations. I'm back to telling myself my affirmations every day. I am the leader my team needs, right? I have the skills, the tools to help my team succeed. I am enough, right? Like my presence, it matters. That's something that several of my leaders were having to tell ourselves right now. My presence, it matters. It matters that I show up on a Zoom. It matters that I ask my team to do a power hour with me. It matters that I check in on that customer. My presence, it matters. I think that's one of the biggest lies in the world today, is that our presence, it doesn't matter. When you feel valuable, you show up differently. Exactly. So borrow that one. My presence, it matters. It matters that I do my IPA today. It matters that I reach out to that friend. It matters that I check in on my teammate. It matters. All of those things matter. And all of that leads to mindset, because when you believe that you are worthy, when you believe that you're enough, when you believe that your presence matters, you believe that it matters to other people that you do well in this. It matters to Sadie that you earn Leaders Retreat, right? It matters to your sidelines that you earn Leaders Retreat. It matters to Plexus. It matters to everybody. And I think the lie we tell ourselves is like, nobody will notice. It'll be fine. I'll be fine. And I think knowing that it matters, believing that we can do this is so, so important. But it's not just desire, and it's not just mindset. You could have the best mindset in the world and you could want to be on the boat, but you're not going to accidentally get there. You have to take consistent action. And that was what was behind the whole workbook I created, okay? You guys all have the workbook. Sadie told me you have the workbook. She was like, they have your workbook. Yay! So this kind of came into culmination after the Orlando Leaders Retreat, okay? So for the Orlando Leaders Retreat, one of my really good friends, she's my level 1, but she's also one of my like real life friends. We met at church. And do y'all have like real life friends, and then people you met because of Plexus, and then people who like were so random that they joined you and now you're like really good friends, right? Crazy. And she didn't earn the Orlando trip. She didn't earn it. Now she'd had a baby, right? There were a lot of reasons. She had a baby and she was working full time and all of these things. But one of the things I noticed is I was like, man, the people who didn't earn this trip, they didn't take consistent effort. It was like 1 week in, 1 week out, 1 month in, 1 month out, 2 months in, 2 months out, right? Like there was not that consistency. And when Plexus announced that we were going to have a cruise and then Punta Cana, right? Like not just 4 months of consistent effort, you guys, but it was like 8 months of consistent effort. And then we went straight into convention. 12 months of consistent effort. And that's just not like I would say there was consistency in my business, but it definitely ebbed and flowed on contests back in the day, because there were these gaps. And so it would be like, run, now let's like cruise for a little bit, run, let's cruise. And I just thought, if I can put this in a workbook where people can see, this is the consistency that it is going to take to earn this trip. Now It's not 3 hours a day. It's not 5 hours a day. It's not a full-time job. Like, you guys know you can bust through that workbook page in 30 minutes if you're focused. And then some days you might take more time to kind of look at other things or stuff like that. But it was so helpful for my team to say, here's this. Like, do this. And y'all, I'm telling you as a leader, it made those conversations so much easier when people didn't earn it. To say like, okay, can we look at your workbook? Like, what does it tell you? And then it was them looking and being like, well, the contest was 18 weeks and you had 18 weeks of IPA in here and I only used half. And I was like, look, like you got over halfway there. Like, what does this tell you? And so what wound up happening is we had several people who either didn't earn the cruise or got a buddy pass. That was such a cool thing. That then we're able to take that and look at the Punta Cana tracker and be like, okay, what I did here, I didn't do it. I didn't do it consistently. And so here, I'm going to do it differently. And for me, y'all, this is like there's consistency. And I didn't sweep the cruise contest. I didn't get the shopping spree last year for the cruise. And when I looked at my workbook, well, there were like 4 weeks of blank pages. And you know what? I was like, crap, I freaking created the workbook, right? I knew. You think I would have swept the contest if I'd done all of the work and not just most of the work? Like, I think I would have. And then for Punta Cana, totally different story. So much consistency, like maybe a couple days here and there that were not completed, and like swept the contest, like without even, like it just wasn't even a consideration. Like I had done the work and I brought so many teammates with me also who had done the work. So consistency, it matters. Okay. But it's also not just consistency. Okay. You can check every box, but if you don't have the energy, you're just going to be checking boxes. You see how this all layers together? You've got to have energy. You've got to be showing up on social media in a way that invites people in. And this is honestly the hardest part because, y'all, I have 3 boys. It is chaos. I look like this most of the time, except for at Plexus events where I put on lipstick and curl my hair. This is how I work most of the time. Showing up on social media, like that is just, it's challenging sometimes, and it's challenging to do it with energy.
I feel like he's got.
You see the most
What do you
random.
mean?
It just spoke to me.
Guys, I'm muted again. Keep watching because there's so many more voice lines. This is about to get insane. Marky, you're hearing things.
I'm not hearing things. Blue's chasing me now. He doesn't talk. Thank gosh. And he's so slow and stupid.
That energy, you guys. Energy.
Yes, I don't know what's going. Anyway,
That's okay. That is okay.
love you.
What did you say, Sadie? Team up with people. Create teams of 3 to work this workbook every single day.
Yeah,
You
I think
guys.
it would be impactful. I'm not gonna. This is your thing, but I mean,
No,
I
go.
think it would be impactful. Like just 3 people eat. Like there's how many on the screen? Like split up. Like get together and just have threads where you hold each other accountable. Like at a certain point, it's got to be beyond doing it for your sponsor to see you doing it, right? I want you to show up in a way
Totally.
that is, you know what I mean? And of course I love everybody. You go what I'm saying, but
No, well, and I even like this is a hard conversation, you guys. And I was on a call with my leaders and I was like, look, find an accountability buddy. And if they don't do their work 2 days in a row, go find a new one. Like, Miss one day, okay, okay. So it happens. It happens, right?
Mhm.
Sickness, just chaos, whatever. Miss 2 days in a row, and I have to start asking if your desire is there, right? But it's the energy. It's the energy. It's the, like my cousin, I was telling her, I was like, go to jumping jacks if you have to, and then send your voice messages. Like, go run around the block, go play with your dog, go do something that's gonna like lift your energy. I don't send voice messages sitting at my desk. I'm always pacing the house, pacing outside, because the energy I get from standing and moving is so much better than sitting and like, sometimes you hunch and like you just sound like, hey, like, just checking in. Whereas if you're walking, you're like, hey, like, I just wanted to check in on you. I'm so excited for how you're doing on Plexus, right? Like the energy, it matters. It matters how you show up in your stories. People can feel when you're excited and when you're not. And so it's checking boxes, but it's also doing it with energy. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm gonna shout. So my friend Kim, who she missed Orlando, she's never missed another leaders retreat, y'all. And I'm betting you she sweeps this contest. I said, Kim, what changed for you? And she said, I learned to play the game. And I said, you what? She was like, leaders retreat. It's just a game. And I was like, Kim Air, tell me more about this. Because to me, like leaders retreat is like I make it mean something about me, y'all. I'm going to be honest. I make it mean something about me. Like whether I do or don't, I'm like, this is like a pulse of my leadership. This is like, where is my business at? Right. All these things. And then this friend of mine is like, oh yeah, I just learned to play the game. And I was like, what? And she was like, well, enroll, retain, duplicate. It's a game. You enroll, you retain, you duplicate. And you can come up with a plan to earn the trip based on those things. And so what Kim has done, y'all, she's earned the last 2 trips and a couple of prizes really by herself. She didn't have any duplication yet. She would like flex duplication where it's like, Jody, can your mom do this with you? Can your daughter do this with you? Does your neighbor, like she would flex it in that way, but it wasn't like natural. You know what I'm saying? So each contest she would develop 1 or 2 silvers just from like making it happen kind of, right? Asking for referrals, getting curious, doing these things. She's playing the game. Well, now she's helping about 4 or 5 people on her team earn this trip. And so what she's doing is she has her plan to earn it. Like these are the things I need to do to earn it. And as I help other people earn it, that's how I earn these prizes beyond just the cruise. But it really almost like took the pressure, if you will, or the like self-deprecation maybe out of it when I was like, oh, it's kind of a game. And here's the thing about a game. You have to play it. Okay. I think sometimes, like imagine if people are playing soccer and you're just like standing there and you're like, I want to be on the winning team. I want to be on the winning team. I want to be on the winning team. But you're not moving and you're just getting kicked in the face with the ball, right? Now imagine if you're playing the game and you're running and you're passing and you're shooting and you're scoring. I think sometimes we don't play the game and we just get hit in the face with the ball over and over and over again. And you're like, see, I'm not a good leader. See, I'm not a good ambassador. See, I'm not her. I'm not her. I'm not him. Like, look at all of them doing this better. Like, it just must not be for me. And my question to you would be like, are you playing the game? Are you just standing on the field? Like, are you playing the game? Are you taking action? Are you leveraging these things? Are you doing the reach outs? Are you trying new reach outs? Are you doing voice message reach outs? Are you finding something that works for you? Asking for the shout out, asking for the referral. Y'all, there are so many different ways to do this, right? I know there's like 1,000 different systems. Don't help them make a list, right? Well, help them shout people out. Just ask for the shout out, me plus 3, like buddy system. Like there's so many different ways, but you just got to pick one and you just got to go with it. You got to figure out what works for you and you got to leverage it. I was talking to my friend Stephanie. She's actually under Kim. And I said, Stephanie, she messaged me. She was like, how did you lose weight last year? Side note, I lost 35 pounds in a year by doing resets and triplex. Reset every single month. Okay, postpartum with my third. She said, how did you lose your weight? I said, Stephanie, I did resets. Reset every single month and it sucked, but it was awesome. Like it helped me lose my weight and it was terrible and I don't want to do another reset, but it was awesome and it worked. Okay. She said, okay, I'm going to do that. I have about 30 pounds to lose. And I said, hey, I have a game for you. Can you find 5 people to do that with you over the next 4 months? And she was like, well, that feels easier than just like randomly messaging people. And I was like, right? So go find 5 people to do reset and triplex with you. And then just do that every month with them. And like keep inviting more people in. Keep like find something that's going to work for you and go do it. Because one of the things I've had to release is that while I can give people the tools, I cannot earn the trip for anybody else. I earn it for me, right? And so you're going to have to step up. And what I love about this is they changed the name to Rising Leaders Retreat. It's because you cannot earn this without rising into a leader. You cannot earn this without raising your leadership lid. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to be the same person December 31st that you are today. You're supposed to grow along the way. And so I think the question really becomes, are you ready to grow? Are you ready to do the hard work? Are you ready to, I always like think of raising my leadership lid as like a deep squat. And I'm just like, because it's hard. It's really hard, but it's not supposed to be easy. And I think sometimes I just have to remind myself of that. It's not supposed to be easy. So today on a really, really busy day, my IPA didn't look like sitting at my desk. It looked like sitting in the carpool line and looking through people who'd seen my stories that I hadn't talked to about Plexus yet and messaging them and asking them if they ever thought about trying this. Okay. Like it's not perfect. And now I'm about to, like after this call, I'm going to write their names in the book so I don't forget to follow up with them. Okay. It's not perfect. Perfection's not the goal here. The goal is growth. But I really don't think you can earn the trip without those simple things. Okay. You got to have the desire. You got to have the mindset. You've got to be consistent. You've got to bring the energy. And you've got to have a plan. Play the game. And if you can do those things, I really think you can earn the trip. And if you can do those things and help other level ones also do those things, you can sweep it. And so it starts with us deciding we're going to do it. It starts with us saying, no more am I going to go to sleep without doing my IPA. I feel like I'm kind of back in my early days, and that's why I love this. Y'all, when I was working towards Ruby, I was like, come hell or high water, I was going to not go Ruby. So like, I was all in. I would stay up late. I would work when the baby was napping. I would send messages. I would get curious, all of those things. But the thing I did, I never went to sleep without doing my actions. I never did. Because what was waiting on the other side was so much better than 30 extra minutes of sleep. And I was telling this to my team, and I was like, I'm not telling you like lose sleep to do Plexus, but I'm also telling you, if you are consistently going to bed without taking action, that's something you can control in a world of a whole lot of things you can't. And so figuring out a way to get it in, and then come December 31st, you're not going to be kicking yourself. You're going to be like, dang, did the dang thing. And you're going to be getting your passport together and buying a new swimsuit and doing those things. And you're not going to be doing the thing. I love that Kim doesn't even know I was going to talk about her tonight. Kim was doing in February of what, 2021, 2022, when we went to Orlando. And she sat there watching all of us post. She sat there in the cold Texas winter. I think it maybe even snowed while we were gone. It never really snows here. And she was like, dagnabbit, I'm never missing it again. I'm never going to miss it again. So y'all, that is what I want to talk to you about tonight. You can do this. You just have to decide.
Okay, thank you so much. That was absolutely wonderful. Does anyone have a question or anything to say to Traci? I want to respect her time, but Traci, I just want to say this
Oh,
really
you're good.
quickly. Like, these action items, I obviously wrote them down. If you guys want to like kind of look through the chat and make sure that you didn't miss anything that you needed. I also bumped the workbook and her video in the team page. It like I didn't realize it had gone down there because we shared it obviously
Oh,
several
yeah.
weeks ago. So anyways, you guys, I just love having her. I love how you shoot it very straight, but you have that kind voice. So it's softer than it could be. So does anyone have anything for Miss Traci?
I just have a clarifying question about the workbook.
Yes,
And
for it.
I'm sure like it's just me being dumb, but
Oh,
like, can you see this page? Like these things, what should I be putting in these boxes?
Oh, it is just a calendar. So some of our
Okay.
girls use it for like customer care.
Okay.
They'll like
Okay.
put dates in there. Like some people, I left it blank because like my week starts on Monday, but some people like their weeks start on Sunday. I don't know.
Yeah.
So like just
Okay.
write the dates in there and you can use it to schedule out events or like the
Perfect.
flow of your month.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
Thank
customer
you.
care is what most of my girls use it for.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to answer another question I've gotten from people? Do y'all have
Yeah.
the board that I made too?
what?
Do you have the board that I made?
Do we have the board?
No, I'll send it to
Jody
you.
is the
Oh, Jody
board.
has it.
Jody is the board person.
Jody's like, I got it.
She's the one.
So on each of the daily task page, there's like 5 follow-up bubbles at the top of the page. So I was telling everybody, like one of the things that I got really in the trenches with was follow-up. And then I lost track of like who I'd followed up with. And there's in the board, like 5 follow-up messages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so like on Friday, I'm going to go back to everybody from last week and do follow-up message 1 for people who haven't responded to me and moved to my prospect list. And then the next Friday, I'm going to send that page follow-up 2. I'm going to check that box, but I'm going to do the whole page at once. Does that make sense? That way nobody falls through the cracks and everybody's getting 5 follow-ups throughout the first like 2 months.
Is anyone having issue? Like, does anyone, that was good that Amanda asked that. Does anyone else have questions about the workbook while she's here? Because it's not like I can't get the answer from her, but she's here. So ask her.
Like I know where to find you.
Yeah. I love y'all with these brains like this. As soon as Amanda just piped up, I was like, this is going to be the most specific question. I already know it.
I love it.
She's like, I want to, but if I was looking at that, I'd feel the exact same way. Like, I want to make sure I'm using it the right
thing.
way.
I just need to know the right way and
Yeah.
how I should be doing it. Yes.
Oh my
it's so
gosh.
true.
I think the biggest thing that you do on that page are the bold business asks. That's one of the biggest additions from the last workbook. And that's something just honestly in conversations I've had with Genevieve and several others is the bold business asks and just voice messaging people and telling them what you're doing, why you're doing it, why you think they'd be incredible at it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And so that's the why for 2 a day, 10 a week. If you're doing that 10 times a week, then you're going to get really good talking about the business. You're going to get really good talking to people. One of the things that we're having to work with people post COVID is learning how to talk to people again, learning how to have relationships. And so that's just a huge part of like the workbook itself.
Can
Just-
I add? Oh, sorry.
No, go.
I just thought about this today, when I was like, I had my 5 that I was gonna reach out to. So one thing I learned when I was doing some macros, like coaching and stuff, I wasn't coaching, I was being coached, was to go ahead and put in what you're going, like what you're gonna eat tomorrow, because then you're gonna stick to it. So I've just started today implementing that in this and just going ahead and finding the people that I was going to reach out to. Like I filled it out this morning of the people I was going to reach out to once, work was over. And I don't know, it just seems easier to stick with if you already have that person's name written down and you're like, okay, I'm doing this, before I go to bed or whatever. So I don't know, it might help someone. It helps me stick to what my goals are. So
No, that's good.
That is
That's good.
Love
Yeah,
it.
I can say this. I've been super stubborn with the whole make a list thing. Like literally. I have never until this hot rod Sadie's last power hour. She was like, make a list. I'm like, fine. And it was the best thing I have done. She knows how stubborn I am. I'm getting there. I'm growing. But it's just like, damn, just make a list. Like it was. And then she's like 20, just 25. I'm like, okay. And by the time I was done, I was like 42. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm digging the list. I'm digging this workbook, Tracy. Like
Thank you.
you're on fire, girl. This is awesome.
It's so fun. I love it. I love getting to take my skill for graphic design and like put in here. Now I
Yeah.
do the whole thing in Canva. I use templates and manipulate them, but like that thought, putting your thoughts on paper, you know what I mean?
Sure. Sure.
So.
It does. It changes everything. It gives you a huge perspective of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you so much for this. I can't wait. I'm loving it already. So you rock. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we want to say thank you so much. And I think this is also valuable. Remember what she said about what you can control, please, everyone, and release what we can't, right? The offer is our job. The yes or the no is theirs. So anyway, Traci, you are amazing. I love you and very much appreciate your brain. We are utilizing these workbooks. Like I said, I want you guys to find a buddy, find 2 buddies. Like let's be accountable to each other and let it be just you guys linking arms and doing it. It's going to be very impactful. Consider doing with your teams. Anybody who wants to be earning this cruise together, it would be a great connection point, a great way to build culture with your people, right? Because that's what those unbreakable bonds and those strong foundations, they start in the little moments every single day. So, all right. We love you, baby. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
Monday, and I'll get this recording out ASAP.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.